Hey, all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals, I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, March 13th, Friday the 13th, and this is episode 209 of the Shit Podcast. I am your host, Vegan Pete, and always by my side is the host extraordinaire.
Hey guys, Aviel here. I didn't read that before.
Thank you for being here, as always, Avi. I got a week off. So, amazing job holding down the fort last week.
I was totally like, you got a week off of work? Oh, no, podcasting.
Good job. With the help of the great Razé, I listened to the podcast on my way home from Vegas on Sunday and was very entertained. So, good job to both of you.
Thank you, Razé, so much. I had so much fun. We got to chat for like a half hour before we started, and we chatted for a bit afterwards too. So it was really fun to like really make a friend. I don't know, like we met, we're like, oh my god, we should be friends, and then now it's like we got to do friend things, and so that was really fun. And I've heard a lot of good feedback from everybody. I do apologize. I did have, I guess, some technical difficulties when I converted the audio file to MP3. Which literally when I fixed it, I did the exact same steps and it worked. But so that meant that when I uploaded it to the RSS feed, it showed the entire length, but there was actually no sound. So I had to recreate it and re-upload it. So I know that some people were having issues with it. So if you do have the podcast from last week and there's no audio, just delete it and re-download it and you should be fine. So I apologize.
And you can send any complaints to cowboy69@gmail.com.
So yeah, it was a learning experience. There was 3 pages of instructions that Pete wrote up for how to edit and everything like that, post the RSS feed. And on top of that, there'd still be things where he'd be like, adjust the gain to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where's the button to adjust the gain? So I'd have to Google it. So it was a half a day endeavor.
Well, I think you did a good job, Avi. Just one little hiccup that most people probably didn't even notice.
Yeah, I hope so. But if you did, that's what
Spotify
happened.
noticed.
Yeah, Spotify was a butt. They didn't correct.
Spotify just had to be different from everyone else.
Yeah, they wouldn't correct. Everybody else corrected. So, and I thought about changing the name because that's what Spotify needed was the file name to change. And I thought about doing that. And then I was like, no, it'll probably be better if it stays the same. And it is for everyone but Spotify. They want you to change the file name.
Well, it does seem like a lot has gone on since I last did one of these with you, Avi. An epidemic has turned into a pandemic. Of course, I'm talking about tanks that don't use cooldowns and healers that don't DPS.
It's horrible.
That's the real pandemic.
Super dangerous, guys. Stay at home.
No,
Learn your rotations.
Obviously, the world has been hit hard by coronavirus or COVID-19.
Wait, can I say a thing? Did you know that COVID-19
no, I changed my mind now.
Sounds like, come on, Eileen. And now every time you'll read it, you will see that because someone told me that. And now that's how I read it every time. COVID-19.
So we have to deal with that and my corona.
And baby shark. Just cuz.
I hope everyone has been staying safe, even though you all want to take an ice pick to your eardrum at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple weeks ago, we had the Square Enix team reducing the amount of staff they were sending to PAX East, and they got a decent amount of shit for that. But their cautiousness appears to have been warranted.
Yep.
I hope everyone is taking it as serious now, even if you think you're not in danger or it won't affect you because you're young and healthy. If you get it, you become a carrier of it, and you can pass it to people who are susceptible to it and could have major health problems because of it. You don't want to pass it to your parents or grandparents or to anyone else's family. Be smart. Wash your hands, avoid public places with a lot of people, and if you feel sick, stay the fuck home.
And play video games.
With us. Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, my mindset is, like, I know if I get sick, I'm not likely going to be hurt, but I know, like, my dad's health isn't great, so all I think of is if I got somebody else infected and then they brought it home to their dad or mom or grandparent who isn't very healthy, and my selfish actions went out and got somebody else sick, and that just has been really... So just think about the other people. Don't just think about the fact that it won't get you sick if you fall in that category. Think about the people who you come in contact with.
And if you get your news from only like certain places of the internet, this is not a hoax, okay? Take it fucking seriously. Seen a lot of that going around.
Yeah. So anyways, this is a video game podcast. We just, us, when we have an opinion about something, we verbalize it. So
luckily we play an MMO, Avi,
I
so
know.
we can stay in all day when we're not working. And we got some new content with patch 5.21. We're going to go over that today. All the latest Final Fantasy 14 news, and I think we have a fun show tonight.
Yeah.
Last week was actually the first episode of the month, but Avi couldn't take calls and have Raze on video at the same time, so she wasn't able to take any calls for the community roundup.
I prioritized.
So if you have something you want to promote, be sure to call in during the community roundup section. And of course, we're talking about patch 5.21. So if you want to heap praise upon Square Enix or maybe take some shots at the content that they just released, be sure to call in during the discussion part of the show. But before we hop into that, we have some subs to shout out. 2 weeks worth plus the resubs. There's quite a few today.
Because I forgot to do this
I will
bit.
try to talk quickly. But we got a lot of first time subs, and that's awesome.
Can you try to do this like super speed?
Not chili speed. We got first time subs from One Jojub, Mad Camphor, Treylands Gaming, Torflax, Warmonger, Leaping Lion, and Lorosia. And SpaceCat0514. Oh no, that was 2 months. For 2 months, we have SpaceCat0514, Vaughn114, Wilderan. At 3 months, we have Naderade19 and Ivory Mist. 4 months, Argonaut54.
Faster.
5 months, Whimsical Angel394, Rouse64, Connolly, Ghost Wolf Rage, Fenris Wolfbane. 6 months, half a year.
Faster.
Ursa Laser, Flayon, Bulbasaur768, Johnny Smith Apple, Mieko FF14. At 7 months, Rathok, Raw Chicken Baguette, Cater Pants. 8 months, King of Noko, Sweet C50, also a tier 3 sub. 9 months, Ananikon, Agitated Salamander. 10 months, Aurora42. 11 months, Jessa. 13, Mog Moxie.
On
14,
the Friday the 13th.
Ace Kaneki Overlord, tier 2. 15 months, Broly, and I think actually he just did 16. Broly489. 17 months, Shintir. 19 months, we have Venjik and Super Nerd Dalton. 26 months, Aurori and Aja. 30 months, Sorceress 180. And at 31 months, the real Hot Chili Pepper.
I had fun making you go faster. It was better when you were going faster.
I wasn't even watching you, baby.
I was saying it. I went faster.
With that said, let's get to everyone's favorite segment.
Are you making up for the fact that like there's not going to be any sports? Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute. And with the new patch, you may see some people running around with some new minions, some new mounts, and new gear that you want. So we're going to let you know how to get some of that. Avi, can you tell me what minions are coming out?
Can I first read something in chat that made me laugh? They said,
No.
Mako FF14 says, is it just me, or whenever Pete speaks fast, he's pronouncing all the Japanese right?
I get lucky sometimes.
So first we have the Cerber Pup, which is a little baby Cerberus. You can buy it from any in the firmament for 1200 Skybuilder script. And if you don't know what Cerberus is, it's a 3-headed dog from Greek mythology.
It's pretty freaking cute. And I also saw a screenshot of 3 Lalas dressed up in like I think it was the werewolf outfit. So they kind of look like cats. And they were like laying down in push-up position, but like at a fanned out angle, so they looked like they were a Cerberus too, kind of.
Oh, cute! I haven't seen that one.
Looking at the Cerber pup.
Oh, that's so fun. I'm not sure if this is Malone or Maloney, but it's a little baby T-Rex.
Post Malone.
And it looks exactly like the T-Rex mount, like the same colorings, but it's a little minion version. You can get him from an achievement by getting 50,000 points toward your Skyward points as Disciple of the Land. You get Laladile, a Lala-sized crocodile, also from an achievement. This is from 50,000 points as Disciple of the Hand. Dang it, the cuter one is crafting. The Paisa Patissier.
You think the Laladile's cuter than the baby T-Rex?
I do. I really liked the little crocodile. The Paisa
Well, you
Patissier
have bad taste.
is... how would you have pronounced the name of this one?
Paisa Patissier?
Oh, did you actually hear me?
No.
I didn't think you were listening. I just wasn't sure if you would actually say Patissier or Patissier. It's a Paisa with a chef's hat.
I know things.
Sometimes. But you have to get lucky with the new Kupo of Fortune scratch off to get this guy. Paisa Thread Puller is another Paisa variant because Square Enix likes adding hats to minions now, and you also can get this little dude from the Kupo of Fortune scratch off. Now we've got some new mounts. Do you want to go over those, Pete?
Sure. Ooh. We've got a Dommel. If you've ever had the urge.
I've wondered why this hasn't been a mount for like years.
To ride a Dommel. Now's your chance. You get a chance of winning that from the Kupo of Fortune. They are really incentivizing you to craft to get those scratch-offs.
Yep.
And as Chad is saying, you need to do those Disciple of Hand jobs to get some of those Kupo of Fortunes.
Yep.
We have the Albino Karakul that can be bought from Eni in the Firmament for 8,400 Sky Builder scripts. And you can get the Pteranodon is how I'm going to pronounce that.
Pteranodon?
Pteranodon. This is for you grinders out there. If you can get this from an achievement that requires you to get 500,000 Sky Builders points for each Disciple of Land and Hand.
Has anyone actually gotten this yet that you know of?
Oh man, if someone has this already, you got so much poop in your pants.
And finally, the parasols. You may be seeing people with umbrellas or what they have officially dubbed parasols. You can buy your first parasol from any in the Firmament for 1,800 Sky Builder scripts, which is actually pretty affordable. There is also a sky blue parasol that you can win from Kupo of Fortune. And to round out the things that you found interesting, you can also get a new new hairstyle for 1,800 Sky Builder scripts, and you can get the /bread emote from the Kupo of Fortunes. If I was not playing a Viera, you know what the first thing I would get would be?
Hairstyle?
Yup, but I can't.
Well, you can still get the hairstyle. You just can't use the hairstyle.
Then what's the point?
You give your Viera shag hairstyle like you're rocking right now, Avi?
It's not a shag that they give. It's like an asymmetrical, like kind of pixie.
I want a shag, baby.
You know what's actually funny is on Facebook. So my girlfriend did this, and I said, hey, she's looking for more hair models. So if you want a free shag, contact blah, 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 blah. And then Facebook was like, I'm sorry, this post goes against the terms of service. And it blocked my post.
Why are you trying to pimp people out?
I was like, what the hell just happened? You can't get a free shag on Facebook. So yeah.
Can you pay for a shag on Facebook?
I don't know. Like, you obviously can't advertise a free one.
Let's do some investigating.
I'm sure there's ways around it.
All right. Well, now we have Avi's favorite part of the week, and one that you guys were all robbed of last
I liked
week.
it when Rose did it better.
It's the tweet of the week. Oh, that was weak as shit. Gotta turn that shit up,
I think
Avi.
that was plenty loud. I think I...
It's the tweet of the week. Maybe I just need to turn my headphones up. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably just like made a bunch of people go, why would you do that? See, Kate even says Raz was legit at it.
She was, and I actually, when I was listening to it on my way home from Vegas, I made a mental note to clip it, and I was going to surprise you by adding that.
I was wondering if you would do that, actually.
Then I forgot. But anyways, the tweet of the week is from Broly489, who said, I just finished listening to Friday's episode of At She Heals I Tank, and Avi rocked it. I enjoyed hearing glamour tips and all y'all's opinions on Little Ladies Day. Raze was a great compliment to Avi's personality. Looking forward to any future collaborations between Raze and Avi Ale.
Thank you, Broly.
I could not agree more. Thank you so much for saying that, Broly. I know she and I
talked about it like during the podcast last week, but we were both legitimately shocked at how similar we are. So that was really fun for like, you guys were probably hearing it kind of at the same time she and I were discovering it. Like, we'd have opinions on things that we hadn't discussed beforehand and they'd be the same. And it was just like, okay. And it was really fun. It was a lot of fun. I hope to do more content with her in the future, even if it's just streaming silly games, since we play on different servers, so we won't, or data centers, so we won't do Final Fantasy, but we might do some fun little stuff in the future when my schedule kind of calms down a bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, news and notes from around the realm, Avi. What do you got for us?
Episode 3 of the Developer Diaries, titled Shaping the Styles, was released on Thursday, March 12th. That was yesterday. This episode focuses on the character and gear design in Final Fantasy XIV. There was a cool look into how they were able to get capes to effectively work in game. And next they covered how some of the Scion's aesthetics were created for Shadowbringers, and they also touched on some of the efforts put into creating the unique features implemented into the creation and of the Viera and the Rothgar races. It was a really fun little video. Pete wasn't a huge fan of it because he doesn't really glamour.
I say it's about gear, and I already have the best gear in the game, or I have the best glamour in the game, so that's all I see.
That's fair.
99.9%
But I mean,
of the time.
they talked about like how they designed Reen's look and Y'shtola's gear.
I do find that stuff interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail on it. That's why I kind of left all the little comments vague to kind of encourage you to watch it.
The best thing I like about this series in general is actually just how much pride you can see people that are taking in their work.
Yeah.
It's always cool to see someone really passionate about what they're doing.
It was cool because this one, I don't remember the name actually of the woman who put a lot of effort. She basically designed the faces for all of the Viera. I apologize for not copying her name.
All the faces? All 4?
There's different variations of everything. But she's also she's a big reason as to why we have flowing capes on the costume design. Or the glamour design, and it's just really cool because I felt like she was like a costume designer almost for a movie. Like she was designing clothes, not just digital clothes, and the way she approached it and thought about it all. And I really enjoyed that side of it all. It was a very like a human touch to the clothes in game, and I thought that was really fun to see.
Yeah, I bet like the gear designers hate me. They're like, oh, he just glamours over all our hard work. Every time we create something
I'm sure
new.
A lot of people do that.
I'm sure some people like to like whatever like new gear comes out, they like make a whole new glamour based around it, and I just don't do that.
Yeah, you're like legit continuity
because
guy.
I get like one piece of gear, and then it's like, well, if I wear that, like I have to create a whole new glamour because it looks ridiculous with the rest of the glamour that I have on right now. So I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just glamour back to the best glamour in the game.
I also appreciate that when you're leveling a character, you just rock whatever gear you're currently wearing at the time and go, that's my look.
Yeah.
I do think that's funny because I do not do that like at all. I am sometimes like we'll be in a dungeon and I'll get a better piece of gear, but then it like destroys my glamour. And I'm just like, I can wait. I'm fine with my gear as it is. I don't need to equip that now.
I go full on yard sale. I'm just wearing a piece from here, a piece from there.
Yep. You're that guy.
And yeah, really wasn't a lot of news this week. Obviously, we got patch 5.21, but we're going to talk about most of that in the discussion part.
Yeah.
So I think you guys were robbed of any trivia last week, I think.
Well, there was no Pete to... Yeah.
Could have asked her a question.
I know, I thought about it, and then I was like, nah. Too special for you. Nah. All right, Pete, this is not a multiple choice because I think you'll know this one, but I thought it would be kind of a little bit of an interesting discussion. So current content. So if you have not completed the Eden fights, then this is a spoiler. But I'm assuming at this point now it's like
I'm pretty
safe.
sure the answer is Asians.
It's not this week. In the new Eden fight titled Refulgence, Reen, as the vessel for the power of Shiva, gets overwhelmed and frozen solid. What is it that she cries out is overwhelming her at that point?
Wait, Reen called it out?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have multiple choice?
No, because I think it'd be too obvious if I gave you multiple choice.
Oh, I remember the light line, but I feel like that was something said about Gaia for some reason. Am I misremembering this? Is it the light? I think it's the light. I'm going to go with the light.
You're correct. Everybody was like worried about it. Chad's like, oh my God. I didn't want to look at you because, yeah. Yes, it is the light, which I feel like was a wonderful, subtle touch because I know that like the first time I watched that, I actually didn't catch that she said that the light is overwhelming her. Or the light is too much, and then she's frozen solid. So it's kind of implied that it's Shiva that's overwhelming her, but it's almost like Shiva saves her by freezing her. You know, and so I just thought that was kind of an interesting concept, and it's something I wanted to point out to people who didn't notice it or didn't hear that, because I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the Eden story after that, based off of her getting overwhelmed by the light.
So you're telling me that Reen or Shiva said the light is overwhelming her?
Yeah, Reen as the vessel of Shiva. And you can when you redo the fight, because that cutscene piece is still in it. That's when Gaia comes in.
Really annoying.
You'll notice that she says, you know, she's trying to or she's commenting that the light is taking over.
For some reason, I remember that as Gaia saying it and coming in, breaking her out.
Mm.
I don't know why. That's just how it. I'm like the Warrior of Light with CTE. I have a very bad memory of what actually happened.
Obviously, KK suggests that she's trying to save us from another flood by freezing herself rather than getting overwhelmed with the light and then having another flood occur. Shiva essentially steps in and freezes her. So I mean, they're just some interesting kind of concepts and ideas that go into that, and I thought it was really cool. Chili says maybe you were confused because that line was said with Gaia's image on the trailer.
Yeah, but now I remember like I'm misremembering a couple things because during that line in the trailer, it's actually the part of Eden 3, the one with the bird things, where Gaia's getting attacked. Or I don't know if we ever came to a consensus if she was actually getting attacked or not.
I don't think she was. You do.
Yeah.
That was the decision.
I'm right again.
Okay.
Never gotten one wrong.
You've gotten them right the past few weeks, actually.
Duh. Got so many right, I had to take a week off.
Oy.
All right. You don't want to move on?
Usually you start the discussion. I was like, why are you drinking right now? That's like literally when you start the discussion. Why hiccup?
The biggest part of patch 5.21 was the next step for the restoration of Ishgard, which included Diadem 3.0. So let's talk about that first. Because I haven't really done the restoration part, but I have gone into Diadem to mess around with the gathering part of things.
Right.
And Diadem is a gathering-only area. There are some nodes that are the standard nodes, the one that you hit the node and then another one pops and you kind of follow it around the island that you're on. Then you fly to a new island and see what's there.
Yep.
There are still mobs there, which you'll see while you're out gathering around. I believe if you're max level, you're not going to get attacked by anything. I think only if you're...
I was level 77 and I got jumped through one of the tornadoes and landed right next to a mob and it still didn't attack me, but I was on stealth.
So I think you're going to have to be like level 70 or below to get attacked by anything.
Chili says they won't attack anyone.
Oh. Then why were people in Discord telling me that a tree was going to eat me?
To mess with you. Because you're vegan and there's walking trees. It's funny.
Hilarious.
It is.
So I haven't had that much time to go in there yet. But I've done a little bit of research. I wrote down a few things, but this is just my first impressions. I should have a better idea how things really work next week. But from what I could tell, there are special nodes that pop every 20 minutes of real world time.
I was wondering what the time limit on those was. So
on the 20, the 40, and on the hour. But I didn't always get the same node at each time, so I think it actually has to do with the weather. And I believe the weather changes every 20 minutes real world time as well.
Oh.
And you have an etheric gauge. And every time you gather from a node, it adds to that gauge. And it kind of looks like a limit break bar, but there are 6 segments to it. When you fill one of the segments, you can use your little rocket blaster thing on a mob in the Diadem. Each type of mob drops different types of materials. Sprites dropped clusters, though, not materials.
They drop a lot of them.
So if you're good on clusters, there's no real reason to kill the sprites.
Nope.
You want to kill the other... mobs, animals, monsters, whatever you want to call them.
And one thing about the etheric gauge that I noticed is you actually cannot adjust where it is on your screen via the HUD, which did annoy me because it overlaps with my EXP bar and a couple of other things. So just be mindful of that. I actually am pretty sure that's something that they will fix at a later patch. Like I can't see that being something they would like leave that way.
Wait, what was that?
I told you this while I was playing. The etheric gauge you're not able to move it on your screen. It doesn't. It's not. It's not editable on the UI on the HUD. So, just switch. Caterpants just said if you switch to the duty UI, then you can move it.
You said duty.
That makes sense. Thank you.
But you get quite a bit of materials when you do kill the mobs with that rocket blaster launcher thing. So it's definitely worth using.
Yeah, don't not do that. Like make sure you're using it.
If you're close to one, stick it out until you hit the next one.
Yep.
Get a lot of mats. And you do kind of have to turn in a lot of materials to get a decent amount of points.
Yeah. I thought it was faster than it was because I didn't realize how many script I already had. So the first time I was like, damn, that was so fast. And then the second time I was like, that was not as fast. Like, oh yeah, I still had some in there.
And for the mobs that pop every 20 or not the mobs, the nodes that pop every 20 minutes, those special ones for the high crafting ingredient. Caterpants makes a good point in chat. You can have Truth of the Mountain and Truth of the Forest up at the same time, so you know which one is up.
Oh, that's a very good idea. That's a very good tip.
I tend to switch a lot between miner and botanist in there, so I wasn't doing that, but I remember I used to do that in like Stormblood and stuff like that.
Neither of my characters are max level, so I was just focusing on one at a time and leveling my miner to get one of them closer to being able to gather the level 80 items. So I think there is very good experience points to be had in here. As soon as I got in, I did pop a gatherer experience scroll that you get from using Grand Company seals, or you can get from your squadrons. And that helped a lot. I think in maybe an hour, and that's being generous, an hour of being in Diadem, like over like 2 kind of mini trips, I got 1.5 levels. So I went from 76 to halfway to 79. 78. Oh, like no, 2.5 levels. Yeah.
Yeah, so as a non-gatherer, Avi, as someone who's level gatherer almost exclusively, if not 100% exclusively through Grand Company.
No, actually, my gatherers, until Shadowbringers, I always leveled them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I actually leveled my gatherers.
That is shocking to me.
only miner and botanist, and that was because of the maps actually would keep me doing that. So I would make sure to get them to max level so I could get the maps and gather my own map every day. But I did not have fun. No. I think it's great for people who had fun with this. Again, for me personally, this entire patch, I've had very low expectations because it's not for me, and I fully acknowledge that. It's a good way to level. It's a fast way to level. I mean, I was actively interacting.
You were much happier once you saw how fast you were leveling in there.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean like I actually don't care if I max out my levels on my crafters or my gatherers. Like, I really don't care. I married you. Like, if I really want stuff, I will just ask you to do it. So That's
why she married me, guys. That's all you gotta do. Level those crafters, baby.
Yeah, I really don't care about it. And so, like, there are I would like to have some of the mounts. So to me, it was a grind. It was just like a grind. I'm in there to get scripts to get the mounts, and at the same time get some experience points. But I wouldn't say it's fun. It's there's a goal in mind. I'm grinding to do it, and what makes me wonder is that once everyone gets their gatherers leveled and gets everything they want with the script, is it gonna die, or is it gonna be kind of like the Palace of the Dead for gatherers?
If something was Palace of the Dead for gatherers, I would love that.
That's what this is. I feel like.
I don't even, but
because it was so
Palace
fast.
of the Dead is still fun.
But when you're grinding it, it feels pretty similar. So
I will say that there's so many people doing it right now that all the materials that you can sell for shit at the moment. Like, it's not even worth it. I would probably, like, if you actually need gil, I would hold on to them for a while until there's less people doing it.
Yeah.
If you're a crafter right now, I think it's probably better to just buy a whole bunch of materials off the market board than go and gather them for yourself, unless you're trying to get on like the gatherer leaderboard or something like that.
I did hear people say as well that like for obtaining script, that by gathering in Diadem it's faster than crafting. But if you want the Kupo card, which I think was smart of them to do, to make the Kupo card exclusive to crafting, because they know the player base, and they know the player base is going to go to the course of least resistance. And so if the best way to do it was gathering, everyone would have only gathered. So by making...
I do feel like gatherers kind of got the shaft though, because I was expecting them to have a way to get the Koopa Fortune Scratch Off cards. I thought I remembered like way back when that they said like the lotto tickets, I think, which they were calling them a long time ago. I thought they said that was going to be a way for like non-crafters and gatherers to be able to...
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I actually think it's a good idea. I mean, you say they got the shaft, but in my opinion, the gatherers got an entirely new experience to go and and gather. Like, yes, it's just gathering, but you build up the gauge. It's its own separate area.
The new experience is the etheric gauge.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, we could gather in the Diadem already before that.
Right. So that's what you got with that. And then the new element for crafters is the scratcher. So like I actually like that they kept it 2 separate things, because otherwise the player base would have done whatever got them the script fastest, and the other element of the game would have been ignored.
I do feel like for the gatherers, except for, you know, any achievements that you might want, after you get that achievement, there's really no reason for you to go back in there.
Except for leveling, but if you're maxed out.
Yeah, if you're maxed out.
If you want things to buy things with the scripts and then sell them on the market board, because there are things that and yeah, Susan Sprinkle in chat just commented that it kind of sucks that they made everything sellable on the market board, but that might be a way in the future for people to make money, is to farm the stuff and buy the items with the script and sell it on the market board.
The unfortunate part about that is if they ever do get, you know, expensive on the market board, it's going to be because people aren't doing Diadem.
But the fact that everything is purchasable on the market board, I actually appreciate that, because if it's content I don't necessarily want to do, but there's items from the content that I would like to get, I can put effort into making Gil in ways that maybe I enjoy doing and still get those items. So I like that I have an alternate route, because I don't know that I would want to. I couldn't Chili farm Diadem for 7 hours already to get his mount, and I could not do that.
I think if they want to make this content with any sort of legs past this patch, they're going to, and I think the same thing for ocean fishing too. You're going to have to add more rewards to it.
And less items.
Yes, please. My God. I did complain about that for ocean fishing, and I have the same complaint for Diadem. There's too many freaking items, man. Too many fish, too many wooden logs or whatever the fuck we're collecting.
Different types of items. There don't need to be so many different types.
All I'm doing now is fucking rearranging my inventory.
Yes, I've heard that's very, very common.
So yeah, I think they definitely need to add some more rewards in the future to keep it relevant. And it looks like we have Chili on deck. I assume he has something to say about
he has spent some time in
7
Diadem.
hours in Diadem.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and bring on Chili. Chili, how are you doing tonight? What did you want to talk about tonight?
I've been really enjoying Diadem.
That's good.
I'm back in right now as we're talking.
Reporting live from the Diadem.
So what have you been enjoying about it?
I don't know. I've just been watching Paul today because he's been streaming Diablo and just been gathering while I've been watching him. Just been something to do while I watch people Twitch or Netflix, I guess. It's something to do when
I don't want to play the game when I need to be entertained by something else. Like that's for me. That's not. I don't know. That's like I watched Hyperpixie stream while I played it, and I was like, oh cool, I can interact with her stream while I do this. But like, I don't know. For me, that's not good content.
I'm watching the stream, but then I've also got buttons to press, so I'm not just sat here watching the stream.
That's fair. I don't know.
But do you find it inherently fun? Is it any different from a regular gathering? Because I feel like, except for being able to blow up monsters every once in a while, it's basically the same as just gathering now.
Yeah, it's basically the same. In fact, there's a little bit of a disappointment with some of the gathering because the fact that the nodes are different. You can't just farm a certain item. Every node is, well, they're not all different, but there's like
too many of them.
There's multiple different nodes with multiple different items, and you can't just go, oh, okay, right now I'm getting this flax. Now, if I go to the next one, chances are it's not going to have flax in it. It's going to have something else.
Right. And that takes up a lot of inventory space as well. One, can't farm the item you want if you want to farm a particular item. And then 2, you have to make sure you have plenty of inventory space.
Yeah, I hope eventually certain items emerge as being worthwhile craft or gathering. That way I can figure out which nodes I need to hit. And it might end up that I only end up going in every 20 minutes to get the special node that pops.
That's fair. I think my problem is that I've recently gotten this mentality of I don't need to be one of the first people to have everything. So like the fact that the majority of these items are sold on the market board is, well, I'll just wait until they go cheaper. Like, and that
the umbrella is like 200k now.
On the market board?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's nothing. That's nothing. That one's only 1,800 scripts, so that wasn't a big deal at all.
I think I sold like a gunmetal black dye for 200K first day.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the sky blue as well. The sky blue, I think, is 300K.
See, that's good sell for a dye.
And the sky blue umbrella parasol.
Oh, the sky blue umbrella, not the one. That's not the one you get with script. That's the one you get from the Kupo.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one you get from the script is cheaper than. This is more expensive, apparently.
Really? That would actually be worth using your 1,800 script. And this is Gilgamesh we're talking about here, guys. Yeah. That would be worth using your 1,800 script and selling it.
Well, as Pete had the idea of it, it's probably the best one and the most one that's going to hold the most value for the longest time is going to be dye.
Yeah, and those are only 500.
Well, that's because multiple people can use that. You can use it multiple times.
Yeah, it's a consumable.
Yeah, that's of course.
Some of them are only 100 scripts.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
The hot pink, which is what I've dyed my wedding dress on Ultros.
Oh, did you?
That's only 100 scripts.
Yeah, that's too pink for me. I like pink, but that one's like highlighter pink, and I'm not quite a neon girl. Sorry, I'm not like my husband with his metallic green. I guess that would be the equivalent. So yeah, next time we do a screenshot, Pete, with matching glamours, I'll make sure to use all that dye so I can be like electric pink with your neon green.
All right, Chili, did you have anything else to add about Diadem? I got a question for you. You did a lot of ocean fishing too. What did you prefer? Do you prefer ocean fishing or you prefer Diadem?
I prefer ocean fishing, but at the same time, I like the fact that I can stay in Diadem. I don't have to wait 2 hours.
Yes, so that is nice.
Diadem wins because of the time.
That's actually how Diadem was to begin with in Diadem 1.0. You'd have to take an airship there, but it only left at certain times.
Yeah.
So they have corrected that, which is nice.
See, I actually want to do ocean fishing more, but then I always forget to check the schedule and see when it's going to go, and then I just go, fuck it. And I don't do it. Like, that's literally the only reason I'm not ocean fishing. So
it's pretty easy to remember, Avi.
But it's not the same every day. You said it's the same every day. It's not.
Are you sure?
Yes. Because I remember...
It pretty much is the same every day.
Yeah.
So every 2 hours.
There was one day it was at like 6 p.m. our time, and then the next day, or 2 days later, they're like, "Oh, it's 5 hours, and it's at 5 p.m. now." And I was like, "What the fuck? I'm not even gonna count."
I've never seen it.
That's only changed recently. That's because of daylight savings.
See?
Oh, okay.
That makes sense, Chili. But it was like literally just that perfect kind of timing with me, where I was like, "Well, I don't know when it's gonna be then."
I say for as long as the time doesn't change or whatever, it's always gonna be either every odd or every even.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because you've gone forward an hour.
So right
now the podcast is early for me because we haven't changed our time yet.
Oh yeah, I remember you missed it before last year.
Yeah, we had odds before, so now we probably have evens because of the time change.
That makes sense. That was like we have an automatic feeder for our cat, and this morning Pete's like, the feeder's not working anymore, the cat's not getting fed, and he's all mad, and I was like, time change. Oh, we just need to adjust the time on the feeder. So see, Pete, I had it in game and you had it for cat. We're even.
I love cat. All right, well, Chili, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Let you go.
Yeah, thank you.
And it looks like we have T-Learn on deck. So, T-Learn, how are you doing tonight?
Hi.
Hi. Ooh, heard me.
Looks like we got a little bit of echo, so turn down your volume for us if you can. Plug in headphones. Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. Oh, yep, still hear me.
All right, I didn't hear you say that. So, what do you got for us tonight, T-Learn?
I was just gonna also comment that I've been basically since the patch launch, I have been in the firmament or Diadem. I've been very much enjoying the content there.
Which do you enjoy more?
Probably the Diadem, honestly. Like, just because I remember what it was like before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm like, okay, as much as the RNG is annoying, it's also, like, less annoying than getting one-shotted by awful beasties.
Yeah.
And getting killed by etheric storms and stuff like that. Like, the etheric storms don't kill you anymore.
Yeah, I didn't do Diadem past like the second iteration of it. After the second iteration of it, I was like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So what? Let's try to nail down exactly what are you enjoying about it.
Uh the music is really fun. The hunt for the fish, I was trying for. I think the fact that fishing is honestly more rewarding for that, because you when you catch the fish, like the fish themselves aren't actually worth anything, but when you get them approved in bulk, you can, and that's actually a really fast way to farm for materials.
Okay,
Faster
I
than
haven't
even.
done any fishing yet, so
I
that's
haven't
good to
either.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly the most. I found that by complete accident, and I was just like, "What do I do with these fish?" After I had them approved, and I'm like, "I'm gonna descent this," and I'm like, "You get materials?"
I actually did remember from the intro quests, you talk to them and they say you can gather fish, but the fish themselves aren't anything special. But it's the things you find inside the fish that we're interested in. They actually did kind of say, it was like a quick little comment about that. And I was like, oh, they're going to make us desynth fish again because people were grumpy about the ocean fish not being like worth anything to desynth. I see what you did there. So I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
So I think that's probably the most fun. Also, blasting things with
Mhm.
the big bazooka thing. It's just, I don't know why. I think it's mostly just, again, because I remember what it used to be like, and it's like, ha, you stupid golem! I remember you one shotted me before. I'm gonna shoot you in the face.
I think Avi's attitude definitely improved when she started doing that as well.
Yeah, at least gave me like a mini something to kind of work toward. But like the back in the day Diadem where you would like farm one like Dino Island, I actually would always be the person to run out and get mobs and like trail them back like as a mage, like either a healer or whatever. I always did that. And I actually had a lot of fun doing that. So I was actually sad when that went away because that was like this organized chaos that I personally enjoyed. Maybe not to do all the time, but every once in a while it was just kind of fun. And you had to have, once you had a good group with a good rhythm, it was like, yeah, we're going to destroy this island nonstop. But
Well,
not everybody loved that.
we actually had like an impromptu group, and then it just kind of reminded me of why I love the 14 community so much. Is there was a impromptu group, and the impromptu group, just when I was in the session, was just like, yeah, we're gonna do a little mini raid, and I was like, a mini raid? There's nothing. What? And then they went, and like 30 of them went, and they did like a dress like uh dressed like Vegan Pete challenge, except for they stripped down to their like glamour to like their pants,
Uh-huh.
and then they just decided to attack it, just auto attack it, and see how long one of the mobbies was gonna, like how long they were gonna last, and they got one shotted very, very quickly, and it was
cute,
quite amusing.
That's
so
fun. Nice.
Also the fact that the leaderboards like actually matter is really kind of nice, like as the little bit of a competitive spirit. I'm like, I'm gonna get in this position now because I'm a crafter. I'm an omni crafter now.
Nice.
I'm gonna do these things. Although the expert recipes, I still don't really understand them, and they annoy me because they're way too much RNG. So for me, anyway. But
I haven't actually tried out the crafting yet. I know that chat was saying that earning the Kupo Scratchers is addictive. So I'm interested to see how addictive that is because to date, nothing has made me want to craft on the regular. Like I will craft a housing item, I'll repair my gear, maybe I'll craft a glamour item, but I never ever focused on like a rotation. I might have been like, Pete, help me craft this thing to make it better. Tell me what I need to do it. And then I kind of like grasped that, but I never maxed level, so I never got to that. And so that's just,
you definitely don't have the patience to learn the abilities.
I don't. Like it's not my jam.
Like I could make her a macro and she could do that.
Yeah.
But with these expert recipes, I've seen a couple of people start to get to the point where they can make a macro that might get you to like 80% or something like that, which you'll definitely get a decent amount of script from that. But yeah, for these expert recipes, which I really appreciate actually, because I didn't want everything to be macrodable. macroable. I wanted you to have to pay attention and figure out what all the new statuses do.
Broly in chat is saying that they've heard that the fully melded crafters are struggling with expert crafts even. So you actually have to pay attention.
Well, I mean, you're going to struggle if you don't, figure out what all the statuses do and use them correctly. And and then you do have RNG, which can fuck you. If you don't get the right statuses, then you might not finish your craft. I didn't finish the craft one time, and I was like, that's kind of neat. There hasn't been a time recently where I didn't finish a craft.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was honestly cool. I guess the Kupo thing is kind of whatever for me. Like I do the level 80 stuff because it gives me the most scripts because there's things I want to earn. Like I wanted to earn the mount, both the mounts. I wanted to earn the orchestrion rolls. I wanted to earn Amric's portrait and stuff for my apartment and all this stuff. And so
Nice.
So it's fun. I'm very, very much enjoying this stuff. I can see people burning out though, because I have a feeling that if I just craft for like a week, I'm gonna burn out really.
I feel like that's a lot of content though.
I
Anything you farm like that is gonna be hard to keep doing.
Anything that's designed to be a grind, if you try to get it done right away, you are gonna burn yourself out. It was that way for Atmas, for the relic weapon way back when, and all you did was fates for 8 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
Anything that's designed to last a while and you try to get done quickly, you're gonna burn out. I guarantee you.
I do like though that Pete, like how you mentioned how you failed a craft. I like that you were excited at the prospect of failure.
Oh, I'm like that way for a lot of stuff. Like, I think like I should die at every boss in a dungeon for the first time I do it.
I agree with that actually. I think because then there's like when there's a likelihood of failure, there's so much more satisfaction when you succeed.
Yeah, and it's not even like I want it really difficult. It's just like if I mess up 4 mechanics in a row, I should die. And they're not necessarily difficult mechanics, but I'm seeing them for the first time and I fuck them up. But like after you learn it, they're not hard, and I'm fine with that. I don't want stuff to be like super hard when you're just farming it for scripts weekly. All right, did you have anything else to add tonight, T-Learn?
No, honestly, no.
All right, well, thank you so much for that input. I'm glad you're enjoying Diadem and the restoration of Ishgard.
Thank you for calling in. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am willing to give crafting a chance, and some people in chat are saying it's like highly addictive for the Kupo scratcher cards. I'm not really a big gambler, so like unless there's
you married me.
Unless there's something like that you can get from the Kupo scratchers that you can't get anywhere else that I like really
Can't get the
want.
sky blue parasol anywhere else. Can't get those Piazza minions anywhere else.
I don't really care about any of those
Can't
actually.
Get one of those mounts
The
anywhere
Delmo,
else.
the Delmo mount, which I think is the Delmo mount's cool, but like none of it is a must-have for me. Like they'd be cool to have, but if I don't enjoy the effort in getting there, I can't see me caring about continuing to try.
I had a question for you. Do you prefer mounts or minions? Like if you were to just go for one first, what would it be?
It depends upon the mount and the minion. It fully depends upon the aesthetic for me.
I feel like minions because you can have them out more often.
Right, but if they made a She-Ra frickin' Pegasus unicorn that wasn't obtained by doing the frickin' mentor roulettes, that would be my jam. Like that would be my favorite mount of all time. Then I wouldn't care about any mount ever again. But yeah. And then the minions, if they're cute, I don't need to own every minion. I'm not one of those. I don't need to collect everything and own everything. As long as I can like own the things that make me happy, I'm okay.
What about Icarus? He says, don't you want that eat bread emote?
I eat enough bread IRL. I think I'm good.
Yeah, that emote was based off of Avi.
I love bread so much. Oh, if I was ever allergic to gluten, it would be bad.
No, so with this so far, from what I've done, I haven't even done that much expert crafting yet. But I like that there's like 5 statuses now that you have to pay attention for, and you're not going to macro it most likely. So I'm happy for that. And yeah, it's gonna take more time to do a craft, which I'm totally fine with. I mean, If I'm sitting at the computer, I would prefer be engaged with the game that I'm playing, in quotations,
Yeah.
instead of playing it and getting my real entertainment from Netflix, because
Yeah.
I'm just pressing a macro every 35 seconds.
I mean, it is nice to have things to do like that. And
It's called MSQ roulette.
yeah, like I don't know, like I mean, there's other things you can do in life where it's nice to have like listen to a podcast while you do it, or watch someone on Twitch while you do it, and have that kind of like mindless activity. But I don't know if that's personally what I'm looking for out of a game right now. So again, we're both big advocates on not every element of the game needs to be for everyone. So I'm not saying any of this like it's a negative. I'm just saying it's not something that like really excites me.
Yeah, and maybe I'm not excited so much, but I have enjoyed how it's implemented so far. My only problem is, like the first part of Restoration of Ishgard with the crafting part, there was basically no one in there except a few people leveling their crafts after that first restoration part was done.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it was pretty much a ghost town, and I have a feeling the same thing's going to happen after we do this. Hopefully it lasts longer. But from the little progress bar that I was seeing, I don't know if it's going to last longer than maybe a week, but we'll have to see.
Also, Icarus said a fun little fact that the /bread emote actually changes to a weird blue-green color in the Gridania Inn area. So it's likely a bug, but it's a hilarious bug. So if you have this emote, go check it out now before they fix it.
All right, blue-green. Don't sleep on it.
The next piece of content that got a little nerf. Oh, I jumped. So now we're going to talk about opinion on the content that has been nerfed. There were a couple nerfs that came with patch 5.21. First type of nerf is the one that all of us usually expect and have accepted, which is the Echo. In patch 5.21, the Echo was added to Eden's Gate. When Echo is added to content, it buffs your HP, damage dealt, and healing potency. We've gotten this plenty of times in the past, but in this instance, instead of starting at 5% and increasing by 5% when you wipe, it now starts at 10%. It can be clicked off if you want to challenge yourself, but it makes some harder content more accessible to everyone else.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, that was the talking points I was going to ask you.
Oh, but I read the thing. So now you get to give yours.
I enjoy the Echo because it does. The most important part for me is it makes some of the harder content more accessible to people who might be a little timid to try the harder content.
I do think that's cool. So like this is so is Eden Gates, is this like the Savage version of the stuff?
It might even be added to normal. I don't know. But yeah, it's usually added to Savage and like Extreme Primals, but they didn't list Ruby Weapon for this yet. But I think it's on Hades now, Hades Extreme. Yeah, I think it definitely, they should add this because it gets people into the harder content. It's going to make it a little bit easier for all of the Extreme Primals for people to mount farm. And I think that's what people want at the end of the day. More primal mounts.
Is it?
Yeah, I think the general population, the Extreme Primals is probably the sweet spot for the challenge and content that they're looking for.
That isn't, yeah.
I think
can see
you
that.
enjoy the extreme difficulty level the best. I don't think you're that into Savage.
I agree
Especially
with you there.
not anymore, maybe in the past.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I guess, again, because I'm not a collector who needs to have things, that like, I don't, the expert, even those expert primals, like if I don't like the mount, the like joy of beating the fights kind of like, cool, I don't need to do that again.
I like farming it, and I don't even need the mount. Like, I'd hardly have any of the mounts.
I know. I don't replay games. So, like, I don't even replay games.
I like doing shit with people. I'm a man of the people, Avi. What can I say?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Someone agreed with me. Thank you, Aurora.
But, I mean, the Echo, we've gotten it plenty of times, and we always know it's coming. I don't think anyone really has a problem with the Echo, because if you do, say you wanted to go back to Final Coil with the static or something and wanted to challenge it, you can take off the Echo. You can select a minimum eye level if you really wanted to challenge it. Like,
people rarely complain about them making content subjectively easier. like because you can choose to have this or not. So like if you're gonna complain, oh, I wish they'd have only done it at 5% so I don't get as big of a boost. Like, okay, well, continue with 10%.
I will say one person in our static, when we do Ruby Weapon, he complains that there is a checkpoint halfway through, and he wants it to be all one fight for an extreme primal. Do you have any opinion on that?
I don't care. That's my opinion on that. I think having the checkpoint on that is something they definitely have done more often, kind of like that little break. Well, not necessarily. I guess Shiva doesn't have the checkpoint where it pauses, but it definitely has that like break and then kind of starts over.
I think the only times I can remember it was usually like on the fourth part.
No, the new Shiva. I'm talking about. Okay.
But it was usually on like the fourth part of the 8-man raid. Like Kefka, I think, had a checkpoint halfway through.
Right. But like what I was going to say is it allows them to make elements more difficult for like a shorter period of time than having to always fit this timeline that it's supposed to reach. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know. I think it makes it more approachable for people. It gives you that breather of like, okay, reset. Make sure you use the limit break before we hit that so that we can start rebuilding it. Like, I don't know.
I will say last night when we were farming it for some weapons, on one part where we cleared the first part to get to the checkpoint, because now you get to the second part and you just wipe to the wall, so you have all your cooldowns.
You start again,
which I kind of find a little bit.
But that is not the game's fault. That's the player's fault.
That's the game's fault for giving the players the option to do that.
No, you don't have to do that. You choose to do that.
But it's just
again path of least resistance that the players are choosing to take,
and that's kind of on game design as well. You're gonna design it that way, and player base is gonna do it. Oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but we're doing extreme for the weapons, and 2 times on one pull, both healers died, and the red mage had to res them both up, and we were able to clear that first part of an extreme primal.
That's too easy then. That's too well, or you guys, like you're good at dodging shit. I don't know.
That was my problem. I'm like, you have both healers die 2 times. You should probably not be clearing that first phase.
Yeah.
Need a little bit of tune-up. And it's not like we have full Savage gear or anything like that.
Right.
We've only beaten E5S once.
Right.
Next piece of content that got a little nerf is in the Chronicles of a New Era quest Uninvited. The cast time of
and this has been nerfed in the past.
The red has it? The red chocobo's chocometer has been increased. I remember this on patch day, and there was quite a lot of death if you wanted the achievement for like rezzing random people.
I wasn't doing it for the achievement. I would just stand there and help people and res them and heal them.
But I definitely told people, hey, if you want to get that achievement from rezzing randos, head on over there and start rezzing people.
Yeah, I just hung out and helped people because it made it a lot more manageable. There were some people who would be like tanks who would kind of help, and it would like flash and keep the chocobos on them while the other guys beat it. Like, I actually agree with this being nerfed because there are very, very few people actually doing it and very few people out there when they're doing it. So content that is this dated doesn't necessarily need to be a block for people.
I was surprised that it was even giving people trouble anymore, though. Because the only reason I died that first day was because there were so many people doing it at the same time, and there was so much lag going on. And once I switched to my paladin, I was able to clear it no problem. I had been doing it as a DPS.
Well, not everybody has a paladin they can switch to.
But I'm saying, at this point, I didn't even expect this type of content.
The difficulty on that content was dodging. If you're new at the game and you're not good at movement and dodging yet, then it's going to be a difficult content for you.
If you're in Stormblood, are you new to the game?
If it's your first playthrough, yes. Yeah. Totally.
I'm going to have to think about that one for a while.
You don't have a max level character? Yes.
What if your Sprout is gone?
Doesn't matter. If you don't have a max level character, even if you have a max level character but you don't like fully understand your rotation, you're still new.
I feel like you should know this part. But I understand. Like, if it really was a thing where even latency was a problem, if there weren't a whole bunch of people there, yeah, I don't really have any problem with this. I'm just being a little devil's advocate. But anything that's part of the MSQ should just be easy. Yeah.
Well, and this actually continues with the next element that was nerfed, which is Sidolphus, the Thunder God of Oribon Monastery. they made it hit less hard. And I actually agree with them making this fight easier because getting Orobon Monastery sucks. So hopefully this will make it suck less, because this fight in particular sucked when you got people who didn't know how to dodge the mechanics or manage them. So
I've got a little more of a problem with this one than you do.
Don't at all. I don't care.
I understand that it sucks getting it, especially when people won't listen to instructions.
Uh-huh.
But I think just because people are
This is a roulette now. This is a roulette
but
item.
just because people are being difficult doesn't mean you should lower your content to them.
Yes, it does. It's not that people are being difficult. It's that people are new and they're trying to learn the content, and people who already know the jobs are dicks to people like that.
I've been in plenty. And first of all, I had a group.
I haven't done it since to see how easy it is. Chad is saying it's way too easy now, but what 24-man raid is not way too easy now that's old? They're all easy now.
No,
that's what they do.
That's the problem to begin with. You should still have to do mechanics in Labyrinth of the Ancients.
I would rather that they made them easier than have people strip off their gear and do fucking Labyrinth of the Ancients every goddamn time. I'm fine with this. Just give me a different scenery. Let me try to get some different glamour items. Just get me out of there. I don't care. I honestly don't care. This fight was amazing when it was new. This was so fun. It was so difficult. I don't care now. I literally don't care. I would be so exhausted if you get in that fight and you get a group that just can't beat it. So then you've spent 45 minutes to an hour just trying to do your roulette for either leveling or for tomes. And then you've got too many new people that don't know how to do this. And you've just wasted 2 hours that you thought was going to be a quick 30 to 45 minute run because you don't want to leave and lose those tomes.
I understand it sucks if you get a bad group that can't do it, but none of these are too hard that you can't explain them.
I haven't. They're saying it's too easy now. I haven't done it now, so I can't comment on how easy they made it, but I can say that it was a bit too hard for some groups. Like, this is the sort of content in a roulette.
It's not too hard for some groups. It's people not wanting to do mechanics.
Yes. People aren't going to change. That's not going to change.
But as a new player...
So why are you going to punish the whole group?
As a new player right now, I think if you go through a Labyrinth of the Ancients, that's a shitty experience for you because you're not getting 9/10 of what it was intended to be.
You're not going to.
They could make it. They could lower the eye level that it sinks you down to.
They're not going to.
Yeah, they're not going to. But I think that's a problem for them because it gives a shitty experience for a new player. You just basically run through the whole thing now. You barely do anything in Labyrinth of the Ancients. And I haven't done it since they've nerfed this.
I haven't either.
If they made it that brain dead easy.
In all honesty, literally the only thing for me is as long as I'm not doing Labyrinth of the Ancients all the time, I don't care. Just let me do something else. Let me do something else. Honestly, and Icarus is saying that's why I hate Copied Factory. I can do that in my sleep. Heal it, bitch. Heal it. Heal it.
Heal it with the bad group.
Yes. On an Astro.
See, the reason why I'm less okay with this Thunder God nerf opposed to the Chocobo nerf is because that had to do with the speed. And anytime we've talked about maybe upping the difficulty of content, we've got feedback with some people who might have a neurological disorder that prevents them from reacting super quick to bars that they might see.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely understand that. But when none of these mechanics in Thunder God require quick twitch.
Am I remembering Thunder God wrong? Isn't that the one with the circle and you got the 4 areas and you got to be close or far away?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that one used to fuck people up.
Yeah, but as long as you
to how much it used to fuck people up, I'm okay with them making it more simple. Perhaps they overdid it, but I'm okay with...
look, they basically debuffed everything.
Right.
Took away...
So then maybe that's my stance. I'm okay with them making it easier. I haven't done the fight to see how easy they made it, so maybe they made it too easy. But I have had so many groups in this that, literally, if you've got healers in 1 or 2 of the alliances that can't keep their group alive because people are messing up the mechanics, you're not going to beat that fight. It's how it used to be. And that's dependent upon 2 players. So, that's hard. That's super, frustrating for content that you're just basically doing an expert roulette for.
For this fight, it was super basic. It was just a little dance, move in,
if
move
you
out.
know it.
Yeah, but that's You don't know any fight to begin with. I mean, you learn it.
But do you feel like content that is this old should be held up for an hour because 2 players don't know it?
It doesn't get messed up for 2 players. And if
there are 2 healers and 2 different parties that are not, and the other healers can't keep up, yes, it does.
You should be able to clear with 2 people. And second of all, if you wipe one time, that's no reason to be upset. I'm
not saying one time.
You tell them what they need to do. You try to correct what their mistakes are.
I'm always someone who tries to help. But with this 24-man content, if somebody if it's a one-time wipe, sometimes you'll lose people in the group, which sucks. But if it's a 2 times wipe, you'll likely lose half the group. So then you're stuck. If you lose a tank or something, you're stuck waiting until it refills.
It's the second to last fight. I know people have left, but not that many people leave.
Okay. I don't really care that much. I don't really want to I really don't.
I'll have to see how easy it is. Like I said, this has not been on my radar for content to even
I just know I don't give a fuck about doing alliance roulettes anymore because I just get the crystal tower every time and I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. So if this will make it so I don't have to do that every time, cool.
I've actually been getting World of Darkness a lot. I know that's part of Crystal Tower.
But it's better. It's not it's not better. Labyrinth of the Ancients.
The last one of each of them is decent because the eye level difference isn't as big. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's all they need to do is change the eye level that it sinks you down to, so you actually have to do some mechanics still. Yeah. I don't think that's a big ask for.
But yeah, I just content this old, I don't care if it's challenging because people aren't doing it for the challenge. There's not.
I would be upset if I was going through it for the first time and every Alliance raid was as easy as Labyrinth of the Ancients.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't know that they made it that easy.
I think it's a bad new player experience. I think being too easy is a worse new player experience than being too hard.
I agree. But I haven't, this is literally an argument that's moot because neither of us have done the fight, so I can't comment on how much easier. And it's 1 fight out of 4, so how are the rest of the fights still?
All right.
And
it's
the fights can feel super, super easy to the people who know the content, and the person who's new is well, that was fucking crazy. I can't believe we beat that.
And I get that.
They could be lost the whole time.
I think maybe they should have done with of that fight, the only thing that I could think of really fucking people up is when you were putting your expanding orb thing too close to one another. Mm-hmm. That could really fuck up a run. So if they nerf just that part, but they nerf basically every fucking mechanic.
Yeah, they did nerf a lot about it. Basically, it's content we don't care about. Make it easier. Go.
Oh, that's a bad new player experience.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's what they did. Getting on my nerves.
Bad, Avi.
No.
You want to talk about leaving groups, Avi, or you want to move on?
I want to move on.
We're gonna save it for another week again.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk about that.
I think it's fun. I want to. Okay. Here's a thing for everyone to call in with next week. I want to know the funniest experience you've ever had with someone leaving a group, or the worst experience you've ever had with someone leaving a group.
All right. Next week.
Next week.
Call
in on funny or bad, hilarious reasons you've seen people leave groups.
For me, it's always sad.
I had someone leave because their pizza got delivered.
That's funny. But that was just probably a freaking expert roulette or something. That's something small. That's fine. All right.
Community roundup, partner.
All right. So this week's community roundup comes to you from a suggestion on Twitter by Brian Jensen. So thank you, Brian. He introduced us to the YouTuber called LostSoldier20. LostSoldier20 makes leveling skill guides, and currently there are only videos available for Monk, Black Mage, Summoner, Ninja, and Dragoon. However,
one of those jobs is good.
However, he has been uploading a new skill guide approximately each week. The videos last from about 30 to 45 minutes, and what he covers are what all of your skills actions are used for, how they work, such as positionals, and how they affect your attacks or the party attacks. He kind of covers how the party or how the job works, which is really great. No one's really doing that. And so far, the comments on these videos are wonderful. They're especially geared for people who are new to Final Fantasy XIV. And as Lost Soldier replied in a comment, is that people tend to forget that the leveling experience of most players isn't this super easy thing. Some jobs like Black Mage are especially confusing. And I think especially if you're new to Final Fantasy XIV, you should check out some of these videos. And if your job isn't up there yet, then there is a poll that you can vote for the next video to be made, which is shared in each of his YouTube videos. Currently, the choices are White Mage, Warrior, and Paladin, because obviously he's only going to be doing guides for the jobs that he has leveled at this point and can talk to. So we do have a link to the YouTube as well as the poll, and you guys should check them out, because I didn't watch the entire videos because I'm not a new
You're not a
player.
noob.
Yeah, there weren't any jobs that I had started to play that I wanted to check out, but I do think it's cool, especially because we've got a lot of WoW transplants, people coming from different jobs.
I think it is cool that it's someone who's focusing on skills as you level up, because something that is missing from a lot of guides for jobs is those early skills that you're going to be using while you level up, but maybe don't necessarily use that much in your end game rotation.
Yes.
And a lot of people are wondering what they're going to be using when they're leveling up, and there's not a lot of resources out there for them to know, because everything is geared to end game at the moment.
And one of the things I like, and I watched part at least of two of his videos, like halfway of one and the beginning of another, is that the intros kind of start in a very similar manner. And that he talks about, make sure you have your sprint and your limit break bars up on your hot bars, which is something new players don't necessarily know.
Even some experienced players.
Yeah, and to
I tell people to LB and they're like, oh, I don't have it on my bar.
And other things he says is rather than telling you how to set your hot bars up, he mentions set them up in a way that feels comfortable to you, because it is different for everyone. And so just based off of those two elements, I'm like, oh, this is a person who genuinely pays attention to what people do and how people play, and I really like that about it.
To organize mine in a pentagon.
So I'd actually be really interested to see some of the newer jobs. I'd be interested to see Dancer and Gunbreaker and stuff come up on there, because I do feel with those newer jobs, people don't necessarily understand all of the abilities unless they research it. So I think that would be cool, even though he said he's not going to be doing those kind of jobs just yet.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
All right, a little bit of listener reaction this week, Avi. What do you got?
I thought, you were gonna start. Sorry. At Ace the Gamer says, thanks to Moogle Go Round and She Heals I Tank, I just had to return to Final Fantasy XIV, and now I suck at it.
It'll come back. That muscle memory will return.
Check out some LostSoldier20 videos. I'm sure it'll help you remember what those buttons do.
And at the Zero says, as She Heals I Tank, the interview is here. Go check it out. And he's referring to Aetherflow Media, that digital magazine. Zero did a little interview with
us, yeah,
for that magazine.
Sorry, we didn't talk about this last week. That was my fault.
So go check out Aetherflow Media for that interview.
It's and a bunch of other awesome stuff in their magazine.
And Johnny Smith Apple says, no stream tonight or tomorrow. Work is keeping me in tonight, and I'm heading out to a movie tomorrow night. Here's a bunch of cool cats you can watch in the meantime. And he includes us. And Johnny Smith Apple is an amazing streamer. Go check him out.
And at Edge Odenblas, in response to She Heals I Tank, Rose, and myself, same week as International Women's Day, we celebrate that at work early today, and they sent out these wicked laptop stickers. And of course, same week as Little Ladies Day. I look forward to listening to it. Such good timing. # everyone should be a feminist. Thank you so much. I do love how that worked out, that it was International Women's Day, Little Ladies Day, and an all ladies podcast. I do like the idea of making that a tradition. So maybe next year it'll be another ladies podcast, and Pete will go to Vegas or something and get coronavirus.
And Savage Galka Gaming, aka Super Nerd Dalton, tweeted at us a YouTube video with some music that he made. He says, recorded this with At She Heals I Tank in mind and a whole story. I wanted to convey the craziness that is the mind of a Greenleaf in their first big dungeon moments in Final Fantasy XIV, but then everything goes retro. And we'll post a link to that music in the show notes.
It was really good. He did post it in the Discord channel as well. He's a really talented dude. It was really good music. And Super Nerd Dalton, if you're hearing this, we would have made you the community roundup, but you need to post some more videos first, dude. It was too brand new. Gotta get you.
There'll be a link to it though.
Yeah. And finally, @Maddie Gone is here, and this was on International Women's Day. He tweeted, "These are some powerful, wonderful women I follow on Twitch and have the pleasure to game with." And he tagged probably like 10 women, Hyperpixie included, as well as She Heals I Tank for me, not you, Pete.
I feel like I was an honorary woman because I kept on getting tagged.
Yeah, Pete was an honorary woman that day. As well, thank you all for the compliments on my new haircut. I did share a picture of that. You all are too damn sweet. And a great big thank you to everyone for the happy anniversary wishes as well, which is why Pete did not stream on Wednesday. We went out and ate some good food and ice cream. It was fun.
It was a good time. We went to a place in San Diego called Little Italy. I tried to say to my work that I went to Italy and I need to be quarantined for 14 days, but they weren't buying it, and I still had to go to work.
So Chili just asked if he could shout out the Moogle Go Round on the community roundup, which he already missed, but sure, Chili, if you can get here in the next like 10 seconds.
Well, we can shout him out. Everyone go watch Moogle Go Round Radio.
Here, Chili.
Hello, Chili.
Oh.
Hello.
Let's
Okay, because you've just done it. I want to shout to Google Go Around Radio. I've said that if we reach 200 followers, I'm going to cut the price of the $10 Mog Station CP cost. So for 3 people, it'll cost 15k channel points instead of 30k channel points.
Damn, Chili. You must be more of a baller than you let know. Cause
just giving out money from the Mog
some
Station.
bougie as hell. He's like,
So yeah, once we have to reach 200 followers for this to happen.
How far away are you?
2.
Oh, shoot.
So
and then
if
it's
you
only
aren't following
15,000.
Moogle Go Round Radio right now, go do it.
yeah,
Get some
and
free
then
shit.
You'll need 15,000 channel points. So you still need to watch us. Which poor guys and girls. You have to
no,
watch.
you're wonderful.
But, yeah. So
yeah, go follow them at Moogle Go Round Radio.
15k channel points. You'll only be 3 people though because of the I can't
Because of
have
the
that for
money.
everyone. Yeah.
The first 3
and then
people.
then it goes up back to 30k.
Which is still
So-
really, really low. Like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I still think you're crazy. But I love you.
And if you
No
sub,
worries.
you'll earn those points faster.
Yeah, if you sub. By the way, to celebrate, we just reached 15 subs as well.
Aw.
Congratulations.
Yay.
So we unlocked the second emote,
Have you figured it
Yay.
out yet? What's going to be?
Loom Chan.
I don't know what that means.
There was an episode where we talked about my local cinema,
Uh-huh.
but then we realized for some reason there's a loom on the middle of in front of the screen in my local cinema. We don't know why. So we ended up making our own character out of that loom. So we're
that's
gonna have that as an
amazing.
emote.
I like it.
Good time.
Awesome.
So Loom Chan will be our next emote.
Super cool. Can't wait to see it, Chili.
So thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chili. Go
Good
check
luck.
out Moogle Go Round Radio.
I hope you get there, and I hope people who get their free stuff really enjoy it.
So
That'd be awesome.
remember, if you got Amazon Prime, go throw it on Shields and hang by.
Thank you, Chili.
So on that wonderful note, that is the glorious Chili, that is going to be it for this episode. As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you will know the next time we will be going live. And a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and that app that Pete told me about yesterday that I already forgot the name of. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. And remember, wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our little tiny shit podcast a rating or a review, or more importantly, tell a friend to check us out, especially since they're most likely going to be stuck at home and not able to go out and hang out with people. So it's time to listen to some podcasts and just chill.
Don't infect people. Listen to us.
Here with Vegan Pete, I am Avi Ale, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.